Hello, I'm McLaren, and I am widely recognized for my contributions to reproductive biology. Looking back on my journey, I'm astonished by how the research I conducted decades ago has not only shaped but continues to influence the future of science. But before I delve into my work, let me take you to the very beginning. I was born on April 26, 1927, in London, England, into a family that deeply valued education and intellectual curiosity. My father, Harry McLaren, was a civil servant, and my mother, Olive McLaren, was a dedicated teacher. Growing up in a household filled with books and a passion for learning, I developed an insatiable curiosity about the natural world. With two supportive siblings by my side, my early years were defined by endless questions about life's mysteries. Questions that would ultimately shape my career and scientific discoveries. I studied zoology at Oxford University, where my passion for biology was ignited. In fact, the whole notion of how life begins, the study of reproduction, fascinated me. But it was during my postdoctoral research at the University of Edinburgh that I truly began to make an impact. That was when I made a breakthrough that would change the course of reproductive biology. In the 1950s, I became one of the first scientists to successfully cultivate mammalian embryos outside of the body. At the time, this kind of work was unheard of. I was working with mice embryos, which was critical because studying mammalian reproduction, particularly human reproduction, had never been done at such a detailed level. I discovered how embryos could be developed in vitro, literally outside of the living organism, for the first time. This work was groundbreaking because it paved the way for in vitro fertilization, or IVF, a technique that allows couples who have trouble conceiving to have children. I'm proud to say that my research, along with that of my colleagues, played a foundational role in the development of IVF. The first successful human IVF baby, Louise Brown, was born in 1978, long after my initial discoveries, but I felt a deep connection to her story. It was as if my work had made that possible. In fact, my research on early embryonic development was critical for the understanding of human genetic diseases, too. I studied how embryos could develop, and through this, I learned how genetic information is passed on. My studies contributed to the understanding of how cells differentiate during early development, a key to genetic research. This has applications not only in fertility, but also in stem cell research, which is advancing rapidly today. When I reflect on the significance of my work today, I can't help but feel proud. Thanks to the foundations laid by my colleagues and me, IVF is now helping millions of people around the world. It's not just about the babies born through the process, but the doors it opens for genetic research and medicine. IVF has evolved, helping individuals with infertility, offering choices for same-sex couples, and giving hope to people who would have otherwise not been able to have children. But it wasn't just IVF that I focused on. I also spent much of my career working to understand how stem cells could be used to treat diseases, including certain cancers, and how they could help in regenerating damaged tissues. It's remarkable to see that the study of stem cells is now at the forefront of scientific and medical research. The future of reproductive medicine and genetics is exciting. What we know now is only the beginning. Today's scientists are working on gene editing technologies like CRISPR, which could one day eliminate inherited diseases from our gene pool, a possibility that once seemed like science fiction. My work is only one part of the puzzle. I was fortunate to be a part of a group of scientists who collaborated, pushed boundaries, and asked questions that led to extraordinary discoveries. Without the support of my mentors and the collaboration with other researchers, my breakthroughs would not have been possible. Throughout my life, I've been surrounded by incredibly bright minds who, together, have helped improve lives. If there's one thing I want young scientists to understand today, it's that the work we do has a long-lasting impact. What we discover now will ripple through generations to come. The discoveries we make today will influence the children, the parents, and the patients of tomorrow. My hope is that future generations of scientists continue to ask the tough questions and always strive to make the world a better place. As I look back on my career, I am deeply grateful for the journey. And though I am no longer physically here, my legacy lives on in the children born through IVF and in the continued progress of reproductive science.